All right, welcome to this review of the American Professional Telecaster. I don't have very good production values, and you can see these all over. So what I'm not going to do is kind of go through all the specs, and I certainly don't have the know-how technologically or the time or inclination to do some of the beautiful reviews that I see people do, where they have kind of close-ups that kind of move across the beauty of the guitar while there's background music playing. And I've watched those. They're great. I'm not going to try to compete with those, but I would like to give my thoughts on the Telecaster in general, and particularly this fine American Professional Telecaster. And I read recently that it was a speculative article, but it was on the internet. Maybe I'll post it, link to the in the comments. That Fender might be discontinuing the American Professional Telecaster after only 4 years. They just started doing it in 2016. I kind of wondered if it was had to do something to do with the coronavirus. I don't know. I know that production really slowed down. They're getting hard to find from what I see on Facebook and just other comments, just kind of anecdotally. Um, and I don't know what the story is, but I just want to say a little bit about this guitar, the American Professional Telecaster, and also Telecasters in general. I played guitar a long time. You can see I'm not a kid. And when I got my first Telecaster in the late '80s, and I've still got it. Maybe I'll do some reviews of those too. I've got four Telecasters now. I've got a Fender made in Japan 1987 Telecaster that I understand is kind of nice. I've got a Blue Flower made in Japan Telecaster that's a couple years old, and it's nice. I don't think the parts are as nice as the American ones in the pickups, but the workmanship on those Japanese ones is second to none. And then I've got two of these American professional Telecasters. This one is the two color Sunburst, which I wanted, and then I also got a Butterscotch Blonde. This one's set up kind of for slide. I play slide on it. If you look at the videos, you'll see one of me playing Statesboro Blues in standard tuning. I don't play at the moment, at least in open E tuning. So I do it in standard tuning. But you can see me playing slide on this and a couple other videos. And when I first got a Telecaster, it was really great because the thing about the Telecaster I liked so much was that it stayed in tune. I always said, I play a lot of acoustic guitar, and I want to be able to play G chord, And some of the Les Pauls and I used to have a Gibson SG, and man, that Gibson SG would be great if you were doing like Who Live at Leeds, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, anything like that with a lot of power chords, 151, big heavy, leads. It was great, but and which I love, I love playing stuff like that, but. I also like to play a G chord once in a while, and pick. And I don't. And to me, the Telecaster, when I first got it, it was such a good all-around guitar, which is what everybody says. A Telecaster is a great all-around guitar. And this one it stays in tune so well. I'll just go over a couple of the things. This American Professional Telecaster has a bone nut. It has the staggered tuning keys. It does not have the locking tuners. I know some people really want those locking tuners. It's got these V-mod pickups that sound great. I've got some other videos on here, and you can certainly see them around. But they're really, really nice pickups. I think they're great. They make noise when you're not playing. Then the answer to that is play. So that's been because once you start playing, they sound killer. These noisy single coil pickups, but it's got gloss polyurethane. I do someday want to buy a telly with the proper nitro finish. I've got four tellies and a Strat, and they've all got the glass polyester finish. I'm not sure the Japanese might be polyurethane or something, but I'll have to check. But it's not nitro. And they're beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. But these are such great guitars. They're so well made. It's got these compensated brass saddles, which I really like. It strings through the body of the guitar, but it's got these compensated brass saddles, and I think some of the other ones have the individual. I guess that makes more sense in some ways. You might think, gee, if you had six individual saddles, the intonation could be better. They say, but I don't know. These things, however Fender did it, they're great, and a lot of people really like that brass. It gives it a ring. And one of the things I do notice when I play my two Japanese tellies, as nice as they are, that I love them, but I'll notice like these pots. Um, uh, I think the parts are a little better on the American one, and I think maybe, who knows, maybe Fender America doesn't like to give them the parts to say, you guys make such nice neck. The neck on those Japanese ones are just really nice. But I noticed the parts aren't as good, and sometimes I think maybe that's by design. Fender doesn't the Japanese that make such nice stuff that Fender doesn't want to give them the really really great pickups and all the parts. But the American Professional Telecaster is a great guitar, and it came out in 2016. I think it's, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best electric guitars ever made. The Telecaster is one of the best electric guitars, period. A lot of people would say the best overall guitar over the Les Paul, the Strat, some of the other main contenders. And the American Professional, by all accounts, was an upgrade over the American Standard, which it replaced in 2016. I've never played an American Standard to my knowledge. I'm sure they're nice guitars. Another thing I like about the American Professionals, it's got the treble bleed. The treble bleed circuit to me is very important. I played in bands on and off, like a lot of us, and I just want to turn it down. And sometimes I'll see people, oh, you need a volume pedal, and you need all this gear to, hey, sometimes you just need to get a good sound and turn it down. And when I was a kid, and even on those other tellies I had them modded so that they have the treble bleed in there. It's the only mod I would ever do. I like stock parts. But I did the treble bleed so nice because sometimes you just want to turn it down. The guy's singing, and that's playing dynamically, and it's not a gear thing to turn the freaking volume down. It's not a gear. You don't need $1,000 worth of gear to turn the volume down, or you shouldn't have to. And so I really like the treble bleed circuit. You just turn it down. It's got a little treble on it there. I've been playing, kind of messing around. So you just turn it down, you don't lose anything. I've got this Boss Katana amp. I'm not really crazy about it, but it's my little practice amp. I have a tube amp that I think sounds a lot better, but it's too much for the house. But anyway, I hope Fender doesn't discontinue the American Professional Telecaster. I've read, just all the comments in the internet, and you get what you pay for. People just comment for free, so that tells you something. But it made sense to me that. Maybe they were going to discontinue it anyway, but again, they haven't been producing guitars much at all because of the coronavirus. And who knows, maybe like so many things, the coronavirus has kind of prompted some kind of a reset. And I read somewhere else that someone else thought that Fender wanted to sell more of the Elites and the Ultras. And I don't know if they're selling better or Fender would like them to sell better, and maybe they feel this competes with the Elites and the Ultras. I haven't heard too much about I did hear the Elite. Some people don't like the noiseless pickups. I'm sure sound great, but but these are great guitars, and I certainly hope Fender keeps them going. Another theory that I had was maybe it's possible that they're going to move even more production of some of their the upper end guitars that are currently made in America to Mexico, and then keep the Corona factory more for custom shop models and things like that. Some of the really upper end stuff. Um, and I don't know, who knows what Fender's going to do. But Fender's a great company, and it's an American company. It's as American as Coke or McDonald's or Ford and GM. It's one of our great American companies with an iconic brand that's worldwide, and that brand comes from the quality that they've always had. Their guitars since the 50s have stood for the best electric guitars you can get, and I'm a big Fender fan. I think they're a great company. So, but I do hope they keep this American professional guitar in the United States, and I hope they continue it. I don't know, maybe they'll come out with something better. Some people might say, well, I wish they had locking tuners. I wish, I don't know. I've never had a guitar with locking tuners. Some people say they spoil you, but these staggered tuners they're really high quality tuner. And I love the bridge. So I don't know what else they might do. Like I'd like a guitar with a nitro finish one of these days. That wasn't $3,000 to $4,000. And I know they have some. The Highway 1 series was nitro finish. I think some of the Mexican ones were nitro finish. I'm not sure. It's not the Highway 1. Some of the, I guess the thin nitro finish is the one that's closer to the old nitro finish. But even then, I think the chemicals in nitrocellulose are different than they were back in those guitars in the 50s and early 60s that people love so much, including myself. So I don't even know if they did those true thin skin nitros, if there's even those are the same. But the American Professional Telecaster is a great guitar. If they're discontinuing it, I recommend you buy one. When you think about it, this is an upper end guitar. This is comparable to a Les Paul or a Martin D28 or a really nice Taylor 300 or 400 series guitar, and it's about $1,500 new. That's not all that much for a really good guitar that you'll have for these guitars will outlive certainly me and maybe a lot of you too. So you can give them to your kids. A really well-made Fender, and $1,500 is not all that much, and it might be a money thing. Maybe I don't know if Fender, if they want to raise the price point, and they're going to tweak the name and maybe a few little details, and then charge $2,000 instead of $1,500, which that would be a business thing. That's up to them. But the American Professional is a great guitar, and if you're looking for a good telly, I've got an American Professional Strat too, by the way. I just bought today, and I haven't really had the time to play it yet. But I'm not a Strat guy, but I played it some in the store, and I think it's going to be really nice, and maybe I'll learn to love the Strat. But these American Professional guitars are nice, and I totally recommend buying one. It's just really a perfect electric guitar. It plays so well. It tunes well. They're beautiful. This two-color sunburst is so nice. Another thing I've heard is that they're reducing a lot of the color options. So, the butterscotch. I think the butterscotch blonde on a higher-end guitar was usually kind of hard to get unless you really went expensive, or the cheaper ones might have it. But the kind of the really good kind of flagship ones, they say, were often not butterscotch blonde. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but you can get the butterscotch blonde with the blackguard, the blackguard telly. Just that's the iconic telly, and I love this two-color sunburst, which is the Eric Clapton Brownie finish. Of course, he played his Strat, but it's still beautiful. And this is the gloss nitrocellulose. I'm sure the brown sunburst is even nicer on nitro, but it's a beautiful guitar. To me, it's a very elegant, almost like nice furniture. The wood is so beautiful. And that's one thing I notice when I play a less expensive guitar. Everything about this is so solid. You can tell it's so well made. It's not necessarily heavier. Maybe it is a little, but it just, you know, when you, it's like a nice watch. When you pick a nice watch up and it just feels so solid, and it's just the way it feels in your hands. And you can tell it's not cheap. You know, cheap stuff is kind of often light and you know, kind of flimsy, and this is just so well made. It's sturdy, it's good. It's just a great guitar. So, you know, I'm very pro American Professional line, and whatever Fender does, I hope they keep. If they raise the price on it, I guess a little bit, that might be understandable, particularly if they're hurting after this coronavirus. But I certainly hope they keep something this good up. That bone nut, I mean, this has really got some nice features in it. And it's just, and the other thing is it's a Telecaster. It's a traditional Telecaster. You know, it's just a really, so again, it's like a really nice watch or car. Sometimes you don't want to, you're not Liberace, you don't want to watch with, you know, jewels, and you just want a really good watch, you know, I mean, just everything, or a really good car. And this is just a really good guitar. It's not fancy, it's a traditional, you know, Telecaster, just, you know, and I guess the Telecaster brand is kind of, you know, I don't want to say bare bones, but just kind of, you know, simple, everything works and it does what it does and just does it really well, and, you know, and that's a great thing. And the American Professional is a traditional Tele. It doesn't have a lot, you know, push-pull knobs, and sometimes things I wonder sometimes if they're really if they're charging you several $100s for some knob that pushes or something. This is just a traditional Tele, but the tweaks they did on it, like the bone nut, I think the intonation, that treble bleed. I love, another thing is this deep C neck is really nice. I'd never really thought about it that much, but it's kind of thinner down here, so you can play your chords. You know, say you play your chords down here, and you can go up the neck. It bends strings great. It's so the neck gets a little bit thicker. It's never like that baseball neck. It's got medium jumbo frets, but this is a really good slide guitar. I've got it. I had the guy at Guitar Center, a really good guy, by the way. His name is Jack at the Guitar Center where I live. Did a really nice setup, and I told him I wanted this one to have 11s on it and be for slide with a little higher action. So I've got my Butterscotch Blonde. I'm keeping 10s on it. And that sings a little more with the sustain. It's great for just like traditional classic rock blues. But this one for slide, or I think, you know, sometimes picking, if you're doing like if I were playing Eagles or something like that, I might like this guitar too with the little heavier strings. But it's a very nice guitar, and the American Professional is a great guitar. Now, the Performer's nice. I played a Performer. And I thought, you know, I think it's great. I even thought about buying a Performer because I have another case and I just need a good, if you get a really great case with this guitar. But I haven't done that yet because the Performer is not, you know, this is not that much more expensive than a Performer guitar, which is I think about $1,100, and this one's $1,500. So I mean, it's $400. I'm not saying that's not a lot of money, but you get a case with it, and I think if you've got the extra couple $100, you're better off buying the American Professional. But I wouldn't say that about the Elites and the Ultras. I think the Elites and the Ultras have some pretty cool finishes. Like I said, it's kind of some of those kind of metallic blue finishes, and some of the what would that be called when you know the ring, or you know the lining around it. But I actually like the simplicity of this. This is a really traditional Tele. It's the you know, traditional colors, and you know, I don't know what they changed. I can't, you know, I guess some people might like that it had locking tuners. Okay, well, I'm not that familiar with locking tuners, but these are good tuners. I don't really like the vintage tuners where, you know, you have the slots, you have to cut the strings first and put them in the hole. I don't know, one of my Japanese guitars has that, and I've been playing guitar for, I don't even want to tell you, you know, 48, 49 years, and I hate changing the strings on that thing. I know some people say it's just super easy. They stay in tune better, those vintage slotted tuners, but this is really easy to change strings. Just put the string on, zip it through that hole up there, tighten it a couple times, and it stays right in tune. Stretch the string out a little bit. The locking tuners, I guess some people might say, are better, but I don't know. Maybe what they're coming, but this is a great guitar, the American Professional. And if Fender ever watches this, I hope they keep it around. You know what? If they needed to, if they wanted to raise the price on it, I think everybody would be mad or something. But that would be better than discontinuing it. I think it's worth the money. You buy this, and say it's $1,500. You're going to have a good guitar for years to come. It's not going to be one that you outgrow, or after a while you just sometimes you buy a pretty good guitar, but you kind of outgrow it or whatever. This is a guitar that'll stay with you. You can play it for the rest of your life. It's just a really nice guitar, the American Professional Telecaster. And maybe I'll do another review of my Butterscotch Blonde. Maybe I'll do a review of my Blue Flower Telecaster. I think that's in some of the videos down there. You can see me playing the Blue Flower Telecaster. I love it. It's nice. I don't think the pickups are quite as nice, and it's basswood, so it doesn't have the solidity feel that this one has quite. But it's a very nice guitar. It's very well made, and it's Blue Flower. I mean, it's cool looking. And then I've got the black made in Japan Fender Tele, but. I love this one. I love the color on it, and this might be my favorite of the 4 Telecasters I have. I think the finish is so kind of classy looking. But I sure hope they keep the American Professional going. The American Standard went from 1987 to 2000, 30 years basically, to 2016, and then this was the replacement, and so. Either something happened to them financially that was unanticipated, or it's not selling that well, or something. If it's true they're discontinuing it. Even the guy at Guitar Center I was in when I bought, I was in there the other day, and he told me, yeah, they're not getting new ones. Maybe it's just sort of a temporary thing till they get distribution fired back up. But he said no, that what you're seeing online are the inventory from before the coronavirus and used. That's what he told me. So now I did see that they got some new American Professional ones in there, but that's what he told me. Is he said they're and they're not too many. You don't have many options anymore like you did in January. When it seemed like they were just all over the place. So if you want to buy one, I'd maybe try to get one now. Hopefully they'll start making them again, and if they don't, hopefully they'll make a better one. But for the price, these things are great. I think they're great. They're definitely worth the money. I mean, it's a top-notch guitar on a par with a really good Strat or Les Paul. $1,500. You'll have, you're buying a good guitar, and I hope they continue it. And if they don't, find one and buy one, because maybe when they're gone, I have a feeling, years to come that if it's true that it's going out, people are going to, remember this is a really good part of the Telecaster legacy, this American Professional series. It was a really good one. Thank you. God bless you.